All right, what's up, guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, as you can see on the screen here, one of the cleanest alt art leader cards out there, I think. Like, look how incredible this art is for this leader. But today, guys, you know, let's focus back in. We got to lock in, right? We got to lock in here because we're going to be talking about Reiju today. Okay, we got a little bit of Reiju action, a little bit of Vinsmoke, Germa 66 action for today's video. And guys, I've been saying it for a long time. This is a very strong leader. I've been hyping this leader up for a while. I feel like, okay, hear me out real quick. I got to do a little miniature rant before we get into it. Number one, I think if you are new to the game, if you are trying to enter into the game for the first time, this leader is incredible. It's going to teach you the mechanics of Dawn. It's going to teach you the mechanics of combat, of on-play effects, of hand management. And you ready for this? This is cheaper than, I think this is cheaper than most Pokemon decks, guys. Like, we're going to talk about the price point. We're going to talk about how good this leader is and all that good stuff in today's video. But let me not get too far ahead of myself. I just want to wrap up with that first part by saying, guys, if you're a new player trying to get into this game for the first time, and you want to get in at a competitive, you know, if you want to come in competitive at a very good price point, this is your leader, guys. This is the one. And this isn't a leader you have to try to build budget. No, it's actually just that cheap, and we're going to talk about it in today's video. Now, let me go ahead and break today's video down for y'all so you know what we're getting into. First things first, we are going to head over to the to the lab, to the VV lab, and we're going to check out Reiju VS Sabo versus Zooro, or Zooro is what they're calling it nowadays because of the animal version. From there, we're going to head over to a YouTuber from the East and check out some early predictions for OP09.5, predicting how things will be, you know, how things will, you know, get, how do you say it, how things will get mixed up once the new buggy support enters into the format. How much will that affect it? We'll have to see how things get all, you know, scrambled up. I think that's the word I was looking for. After that, we'll head over to we'll go check out OnePieceTopDecks.com and see how Reiju's doing in OP08 and OP09. Like, guys, that's another thing I should have mentioned in the beginning. If you're trying to build this leader's not just going to be good for OP08. It looks like it's also going to be very solid for OP09. Not necessarily a top contender, but for a new player, that's all they need to get started. You know what I mean? Hopefully that made sense. Then we're going to head over to the sim. I've got 4 games lined up for us playing Reiju. Whoops. Let me point this way, playing Reiju, and that should be a lot of fun. And then we'll finish out with the deck list, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts, and we'll wrap it all up in that way. All right, guys, you know what we're getting into. I will have everything time-stamped down in the general description, and I will have all relevant deck lists and links down in the comment section below. All right, and as usual, guys, if you ever have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put them down in the comment section below, because if it's a legitimate, honest question, I try to answer those as quickly as I can. Okay, now, into the video. Let me move the leader here. First things first, guys, we've got the VV Lab. What is the lab for any of the new listeners out there? So this first part of my video, this first portion, I always try to dedicate to something we call the VV Lab. And in this portion, I basically review a community-submitted game. This will not be me playing in this video, and it is a blind reaction. Like, I've never seen this game. I don't, you know, how do you say it? I don't like pre-watch these or anything like that. It's just, here you go. You know, what you see is what you get. And I just work I kind of tell everyone in this portion, like, what I think or what I think should have been done in the situation, or if it was just a good play or whatever. It almost acts as like a free coaching session. Okay, so with that in mind, if you are interested in me reviewing your gameplay, if you're like a newer player or you're trying to take your game to the next level, it's easy to do. All you have to do, record your game, okay, upload it to YouTube, and then once you upload it to YouTube, hop over to the VV Theory Discord and post the link of it in the Review My Games channel. And once I see it's in there, I give you the thumbs up and I throw you in line, and you're just, you know, it's first come, first serve. Next up, I just go straight down the list. Okay, guys? All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this. If you have any questions on that, if you're a newer player and you don't know how to get anything set up, just say something in the comment section below or on the Discord. That's the best place to go, is the Discord. And the link to my Discord, I don't mention this anymore, but the link to my Discord is actually my channel description. It's like a permanent link, so just hop on there like that if you need any help. Okay, now we can actually dive into this game. So I got the volume off. We got the speed on 2x, and the quality is up. So let's go ahead and get into this first game here. We've got a game of Zooro, or Zooro, versus Reiju VS Sabo. Okay, and it looks like they're using a version that is very similar to mine, the version that I use. Can you guys see everything good? Okay, good. Yeah, the recordings, everything looks like it's set up good. They're going to swing for 5, countering out early with our blocker. I think that's fine. Okay, establishing a Lindbergh right here is going to be very good. It's going to feel bad at first having to play out a character late, but it will be worth it once you establish this Lindbergh. Hey, they 2K counter out early. Their hand size is low. That's okay. So this is the scariest part of the Red-Yellow Sabo matchup versus Zooro. And let me tell you guys right now, Zooro is incredible. Red-Yellow Sabo is incredible versus Zooro. Because notice this Lindbergh will be able to hit any character on the board pretty much. The only thing that's out of reach is like the chopper or the, well, both choppers, right? But here's the thing. When they turn sideways, you attack into that card, and then you pop another card with the Lindbergh, and there is power reductions in some versions of Red-Yellow Sabo. Like the version that I use, I run Koala and Fire Fist. I'm not sure what they're running though. So this is the scariest part of the matchup, but after this turn, you will be surprised how far this starts to turn in the Red-Yellow Sabo's favor. Now, I don't know who wins this, like I said. However, I do know that I have been in a very similar situation to this, and it's like, this seems horrible. Like, well, we're about to just get run over. And yeah, we're about to lose a little bit of life and stuff like that. But guess what? We have a 2K counter in hand. We have a 1K counter in hand. We have 4 life. And then next turn, we're going to clear at least 2 bodies and gain a life. So that's something you have to really take into consideration with this matchup. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Okay, so it looks like they're about to swing for a lot, right? Okay, they attach 1 Dawn to the Hiking Bear, which can give plus 1,000 to another animal character when he has 1 Dawn attached to it. So they're going to swing for 5 first. Beautiful counter out with the Bonnie. That's absolutely the right call. I think just counting out for 2 here wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but you can take this one and counter out of the next one if you need to. Yeah, I like countering out early so you know you'll be able to counter out of whatever else they swing with. There's the 7 we planned on taking. They did whiff the search, so that does help us. We take it. We get a 2K counter Frankie. Very wise. Hang on, pause. Very wise choosing not to cycle with the Frankie. Let's just keep the 2K counter. I really like that. And look at this, guys. So this is what I'm talking about. Taking the 2 life here, I think was a good idea instead of 2K countering out of the Zooro. I really like that right here because look at the trigger we got. We're about to punish this Zooro player. Trashing the Dragon, absolutely. That card's completely dead in this situation. We take it. We get another. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, pause. That was the right call again. So, hey, this Red-Yellow Sabo player clearly knows what they're doing. You do not play out the, you do not play out the Cracker in this situation because we don't need the extra body on the board. We are going to clear this entire board. The whole board will be gone with what we have on the field right now, and we're going to gain a life. Because, well, I mean, I don't know. I should say I'm not sure if they're going to do that or not. But if I'm playing Red-Yellow Sabo right now, it's going to be me swinging 7 into the chopper with one of my Lindberghs, popping, you know, the Hiking Bear, right? 7, and then I'm going to life that Lindbergh, put him back into life, and then I'm going to swing 7 into the other chopper, KOing the Dr. Kureha, right? And that's it. You just clear the entire board like that. And I'm pretty sure, let's see what they choose to do here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about playing out the Kid and Killer. I think they were just clicking on that. That might have been an accident. So I think maybe swing 6 into 4 here. This will demand a 2K, 1K. They did not have it. That's a good sign. Interesting. Okay, so they're not going to do the play I said. So hang on one second. So hear me out real quickly. The way that I would have gone about this turn is like I was saying, I would put 2 on one of these Lindberghs, swing for 7 into the chopper, the 5K chopper, KOing one of these little guys, right? Then, after that, you put that Lindbergh back to life and give plus 2,000 to the next guy. And then you still have 3 Dawn left for the what's his name, the Zooro. So it would be another 7K attack, popping something else and going about that way. But let's see if this works out for our Red-Yellow Sabo player. Okay, so here we go. Remember, you still are going to be... Hang on, pause. So you have 7 Dawn left. That was actually perfect the way they did that. Hang on a second. That was actually fine as well. Let me bring out the chess meter just to give... I like to bring this out for people who have like a mind for that. Like, well, what's the best move? And if I were to pick this version where they play out the Zooro afterwards, I do still like this. And I think they're going to be able to go 7 into the chopper twice, maybe. And if they let the chopper go, it'll be the full board clear we were talking about. Maybe that's what they're trying to do here. Because with the remaining 2 Dawn, it needs to go on Lindbergh. So that way they can swing for 7 into this, what's his name? The chopper. And then popping the Dr. Kureha. right? Because Makino is worthless on the board if it doesn't have a 1-cost target to pump. That's just a 1-cost 0 power character, right? So in this situation, I think this was still a good play, but I think an excellent play would have been the other one I was saying. But we'll have to see. Let's see how this works, because I haven't seen this. I'm really curious to see how this goes. Here we go. So they're going to attach the Dawn to Zooro, swing for 7 into that. That's exactly the right call there. Now life the Zooro. Yes, 2 on the Lindbergh, and then swing 7 into face, and let him keep the Makino. I do like that choice better, too. Just let them have the Makino, right? Who cares about that card? So the only thing that I would say is a little bit different here is I think pushing the Lindbergh back to life would allow us to play it out, and then if our Zooro is 7k, they'd have to swing everything into it anyway, and it would act like a second life that we gained for the turn. But hey, in this situation, I think that was excellent as well. That was another excellent play there. Very good. Okay. So here we go. Zoro's turn to crack back here. They're going to swing 6 at face. I absolutely give him a 2k counter here. Yeah, absolutely. Because who knows what they try to do next. Yeah, they're probably going to swing for like 9 with this guy. So swing for 6. Okay. Might have to take this one. Because they can't swing again unless it's another Zooro. And then we'll be able to use the counter. Yeah, we'll have to give him the 0 cost. And I would probably give him the Kitten Killer here. Yeah, because they're at 5. They're at 4 life. Excellent. That was the right call. This guy's been making the right call every single time. And right here, now we can just keep cleaning this board up and gaining a life every single turn. And we can make it where we gain the Zooro for the life. Because we have a Zooro loop going now, right, guys? For those who are not aware, we have what basically a lot of people call a Zooro loop with the red, yellow Sabo. Yeah, one Dawn on there. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Throw that card back, swing 7 into 5. I like that because now we can cheat that card out even though we have a limited amount of cards in hand. Then we'll swing for 7 more. Absolutely. Dare him to swing into our Zooro because then we'll gain another life next turn and go back up to 3. And that's where this matchup goes crazy, right? It's like, hey, we're going to gain a life every turn. Okay, they're swinging for 6. That's not going to do. Yeah, I would 2k counter out of this. Absolutely. Then let them have the board if they want it. They should swing into the board. If I'm the Zooro player at this point, I think I go into the board. Okay. Hey, we'll take that. I don't think I'd use the trigger. We can. They still have 4 Dawn left, though, so maybe they're going to play out a Kid and Killer. They might go Kid and Killer here, swing for 8. We have seen 3 Zoros at least, right? Like 3 of the 3-cost Zoros. And there's the 4th one. So they have seen all 4 Zoros this game. Okay, see, now at that point, hang on, hear me out. Now just to criticize the other player a little bit, the Zooro player, I focus in on Red, Yellow, Sabo, guys, because that's like one of my, that is my absolute favorite leader right now. But now, as far as the Zooro player goes, I think he should have stayed going at face at that point. Like, he should have put us down to 0 life there and then tried to win next turn, because I think that's his only chance. But actually, that probably told us a little bit that he's probably scared he's going to lose this turn. But if I'm the Sabo player, now that I have 1 life, I'm going to eat your board up again, and I'm going to gain a life. So we kind of have him stuck now. So he did kind of tell us he doesn't have much counter power in his hand. Okay, let's see what happens here. So, counting up the Dawn at the bottom, very nice. You can do that by right-clicking it, I believe. Swing for 7 into 5. Swing for 7 more into 5. I like pushing the Lindberghs back to life as well. Number 1, they're triggers, so if we do ever top deck a Nami, I'm assuming this guy runs Nami, I have no idea. I'm pretty sure every Sabo deck runs Nami now. Okay, then we can play this out. Yeah, I would push that one back and now swing for 9 into face. And now we have an extra life, and Lindbergh is a 1k counter, whereas the Zooro is just a, it's a break in hand. Okay, and here we go. They're going to go Dragon. They can't go anything else here. What would have been kind of interesting is attaching 1 Dawn to the leader here, and then, like, instead of well, no, hang on. Let me try and do the math. No, we couldn't have done it. I was going to say it would have been really cool if, a really cool finisher for Zooro would be the 2-cost Sanji, right? That can get rushed if you attach 2 to it. Okay, they swing 9, so they're getting scared. So they're scared. They realize now they can't even attack. If they were scared of the 1 body on the board, if they attack in, we get the Lindbergh and it's game over. So we have them actually in like a checkmate scenario here, where it's like, next turn, guess what we're going to do? I mean, I'm assuming so next turn, let me pause. Yeah, okay, we finally got a Nami. It's a little late for that, right? But in this situation here, we have 4, yeah, okay. So what I would do here is I would swing in for... hang on, I would need 6 Dawn to put a card into life and 4 with my leader. Okay, so I would swing for 9 here to get him down to 0, and I would just life a Lindbergh or a not Kid and Killer, or a, what's his name there, the Cracker. Okay, so let's see what happens here. So it looks like we're doing a little bit of math here. I think he's counting exactly what I just said. Yeah, so 4 for the leader. Absolutely. So swing for 9, and then we're gonna drop down a 4-cost character, attach 2 Dawn to it. Yeah, I just throw Lindbergh in because it can get through blockers. Or even the Nami would have been interesting. Just swing for 8 and play out the Nami, do what we just said. So push that card back to life. Perfect. Your turn. So now what do you want to do? Do you want to attack into us? Because we're going to keep going up in life now. Number one, they have to play a blocker, but I've got bad news for them. Look what's in our hand. A blocker won't save them because then we play out Nami and pop it. Yeah, just, okay, well, we're going to have to... Hang on, what all can they have here? They can only attack 3 times because we know they have no more Zoros left. We saw all 4 of their Zoros, right? We saw all 4 Zoros. Yeah, I'd probably save this one because we already can win with what's on the board. And then if they want to attack again, then we'll deal with it that way. Good call. It's keeping the extra counter in hand. Okay, we'll take that. And this one I would trigger. This one I would trigger out, I think. Let's see. Nice. They do it because we still have a trigger left for our Nami to get around a blocker. Okay, well, that's not going to do. Right, that's not going to do anything. And we got a Kid and Killer from our last life. Or our top of our deck, whatever. It's over now, right? Okay. So right here, yep, swing 7. Let's see what they get. They're probably going to try to get a, they have 1 Dawn open. I wonder if they're going to try and get the blocker. Like with the event, the Shut Up and Come With Us event, or Shut Up and Come, yeah, I think Shut Up and Come With Us is what it's called. They're probably going to try and get the blocker down. Okay, they did have unblockable, but that doesn't matter when we have 1 life, right? It doesn't matter when we keep having 1 or 2 life and just keep going up that way. Really good game. That was excellent execution with the Red Yellow Sabo there. Unfortunately, I'm not sure what all was in the Zoro's hand except 4 other Zoros. That was crazy. But, dealing with their start, like I said, guys, this one turn right here, this was the scariest turn. We needed to counter out of 2 attacks just to feel safe, and I think we got out of 3 at the end, right? Let me see. We ended up getting this, and then they attack in with Cracker and give us a Cracker, right? Yeah, and we keep in hand. So we survived with 1 life, and then we dealt with everything. There's only one other play I would have suggested here, but I don't think it would have changed anything. So in this situation here, I would have probably just attached 1 Dawn to my leader and swing 6 at the dog first, right? The Chopper version, like the reindeer version of Chopper. Or like, the morphed version, however you say that. So I just swung 6 into there, and as we know, he actually lets that go, right? So watch this. Attach 1 Dawn to the leader, swing 6 into the 4K. He lets it go. Now we're in the clear. Because now what's going to happen is we're going to be able to swing 7 into the Chopper twice, right? And that's the only thing I'd have done differently. But I do also like the way that it was done with the Zooro, getting the Zooro into life, so that way they couldn't deal with that card, and we don't have to trash another card from the trigger. But I think both ways would have worked out just fine. But hey, in the end, got the W. Very well piloted, very well played. There was no mistake. I think it was just a difference, like in preference of how to play that one out. Really good stuff there. Okay, now, give me a second to get set up, guys. We black out the screen, turn off the overlay, and we are going to check out a tier list, okay? I do go to... Oh, let me move my head as well. That'll help. Okay. There we go. So, I do go to this guy's site quite often, or not site, but his page on YouTube. It's called... Bakania Works. I'm not sure how to say that, but check it out. So this is what they had. Excuse me. This was the most recent list that they came out with before 9.5. And I will link this in the comment section below, guys, for those who are interested. Let me move my head a little bit more. There we go. Okay, now you can see the whole list. So this is what they had. By the way, look at my guy Red Yellow Sabo. Getting some recognition. People are thinking that Bello Betty's a little better. They're wrong. No, I'm just kidding, but seriously. Red Yellow Sabo is slowly working his way up the ranks, guys, and I think he's only going to get stronger every single set because the leader effect is so generic. But anyway, and one more thing I will say, they're using a very different version in the East than we are in the West. They're just doing like almost a straight-up Revo Army version, and then some of them are using the 5-cost Ace, the 5-cost 7K Ace, and then using the 2-cost Ace to do tricks with it. But anyway, back to this list here. Most people, I think, in the East are saying that Doflamingo and Purple Luffy are on top, okay? So we have to talk about that for a second. Notice how many starter deck leaders are on this list. Guys, like, leaders from starter decks. It has to be stated, okay? It has to be said. Doflamingo and Purple Luffy, these are going to be an ST... Well, Dofi will be an ST 17. Hang on. 15, 16... Yeah, 17. And then Luffy will be ST 18. So if you are a new player getting into this game, you could not have picked a better time. Just straight up. Because these new leaders right here, well, they're not new, but these like reprints for starter deck leaders, they are coming out in the West on October 25th, okay? And I'm recording this video on, let me see something. It is the, okay, I've got it in full screen mode. It is the 12th. It is October 12th. These new decks come out for us in the West on October 25th, so just 2 weeks away pretty much, right? Just that's crazy to think about. And they are going to be top-tier decks, not in, well, in 8.5, they're going to be very good as well, but in OP09, which is coming out in about two and a half months for us over here in the West. Then you go down, here's another starter deck leader, Red Purple Luffy. Now that is from ST10. That's a little ways back, but still very good. Udo came out in what was it, ST11, I believe it was. And then also it's getting a reprint in the new starter decks coming out, ST16. So this leader, starter deck leader, Red Yellow Sabo is ST13. Red Purple Kid, I think this is a little bit, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what Red Purple Kid can do, but that's also starter deck number 10 with the Red Purple Luffy. Black Yellow Luffy is ST13 as well. So guys, if you're a new player, those are the ones I'd go for. And if you have any questions like, wait, which one did you say this one was in, or which one was this one in, just ask in the comment section below, and I'll tell you down there if you're not sure. But a lot of these, especially, this is the most impressive thing to me, is Blue Doflamingo and Purple Luffy. They just came out with starter decks that have full support for this, so I think that will be a very strong entry point to get into the game. Now, the leader we're going to be talking about today is Reiju. Okay, Reiju is the leader we're going to be talking about today. Notice right in the middle of the screen here. Even though this is not a starter deck leader, this is a very easy deck to put together, very cheap, and we'll talk about that more in a minute. Now, let's go ahead and see how things go. This is what is being predicted for OP09.5, okay, in the East. Not a lot of changes, but it looks like Purple Luffy is going to go down a notch because, I mean, I'm assuming, I don't know for sure, but I think it's going to be because, notice where Buggy is now. So Buggy, they're going to say, is moving into Tier 2. And let's see where they had him before, just because I forgot. Hang on one second, guys. So, and again, I will link this video in the comment section below if you want to watch it and like analyze it and see what you think about it. But check this out, guys. Before, Buggy was not even on the list until you get to Tier 3. So like Tier 1, Tier 1.5, Tier 2, Tier 3, all the way at the bottom. But once he gets the support he needs, it looks like what they're saying is like this card is going to help shut down some of these matchups. And then all of a sudden, that's going to push him, you know, again, this is just early on predictions. This is just this guy's, this is just speculation. He's just trying to make some predictions and see how it goes. Saying Smoker's going to be up here too. I didn't notice that in the first list. I'm not sure where he was, but really good stuff there. Blue Black Rebecca starting to make a comeback. We'll take it. But it looks like Red Purple Luffy is going to be pushed down a little ways. Black Yellow Luffy getting pushed up. And then Purple Luffy, Black Yellow Luffy, they're going to be at the very top of Tier 2. And it looks like there's no Tier 1.5 in his new version of the list. So we'll have to see how that goes. Okay? All right, I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let's go ahead and hop into the next section. Now we got to check out OnePieceTopDecks.com. All right, and we are going to be checking out Reiju. Now, real quick, let me show you guys something for those who are not aware. In OP08 in the West, let me show you guys how Reiju's doing. They're doing just fine. They're not doing like incredible or anything, but they're doing just fine. Notice this, guys. 2 top 16s at a 960 player tournament. Top 16 out of 500 players. Second place at a 500 player tournament. And another top 32. I'm just going to click on this one first just to kind of take a look at it. And we'll see how it contrasts from the other version we're going to look at today. Okay, so this is how I'm gonna read the leader real quick for any of the new players. Then we'll just blast through this list, guys. The leader is 5,000 power, 4 life, blue-purple, but it's mainly a purple leader. Let's just be honest, guys. There's a little bit of blue support people are running, but this is mainly a purple leader. Your turn, once per turn, when one of your Dawn cards on the field is returned to your Dawn deck, draw a card. Very, very powerful effect there, guys. And with this leader, I've mentioned it before. I will link my other videos down in the comment section below if you need like the full breakdown on how Reiju works. But essentially what the whole list is operating on is these small characters, like a little 4-cost character with a 4,000 power. You use this card to cheat into play these bigger versions of the character. Pause and read these if you don't know what they do. And again, I will link some of my previous Reiju videos in the comment section below. And then Judge, he can bring them all back. Pause and read this. Very powerful effect. And that's the whole deck, guys. This is your main attacker. This is your guy with Rush that comes in and just eats up the board and is very hard to remove. This is your guy that can bounce characters out of the way or KO the small characters. This is your draw engine along with the leader. And that's pretty much it, guys. But with OP07, we now have a card in Porsche. Even though we're in OP08 now, This card, Porsche, took the deck to the next level. Number one, it's a top 5 searcher for cards like Tony Chopper or Gina. Let's see, this list isn't running the Gina, it's a 2K counter. But typically what you'll see is Porsche as a 4 of, and then like Tony Chopper or a Gina for searchers, so that way you can get extra value from this character. She has an on-play Dawn -1, so it immediately turns on your leader effect for the turn to draw an extra card. But check this out, guys. Look at the second part here. Read it very carefully. So, okay, look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You may add 1 Foxy Pirates card to your hand and place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. Okay, that's nice and all, but the second part is the main thing. Then you may play up to 1 4,000 power or lower purple character from your hand. That card doesn't have to be Foxy Pirates. So you're going to be able to cheat other cards into play with this effect. Very, very strong. I do want to check out the most recent list up here, guys. Actually, we'll check out this top 16 one at the 960 player tournament, because it looks like they were all around the same time, October 5th. So let's see how this one did, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it before we move on to the games on the sim. Yeah, this is the 2K counter Gina that I was talking about. It's not a great card. It's just a searchable Foxy Pirates 2K counter. That's it for your Porsche. That's it. So now there are basically, and another thing, guys, notice this. Porsche can search up herself. So if you go Porsche into Porsche, that's not exactly a bad thing, right? That's not exactly a bad thing. And then this is the card I was looking for that the other list did not have, is Black Maria now allows you to stay up. You know, it allows you to keep your Dawn up to your opponents, which is crucial for what this deck is trying to do. It's absolutely massive. So this was a great 2K counter to add to the deck, and it takes, I feel like it fully takes the place of Kaya. I like how Kaya can draw 2 trash too. It does allow you to set things up, but at the same time, Black Maria is just like priority number 1, other than, of course, Sora, because this is your main searchable 2K counter with the stage. Pause and read these again if you don't know what they do. Okay, but other than that, guys, like the list is pretty straightforward. Some decks are running Niji, and some are running Yanji. Okay, like let's go over to the East real quick. I want to show you guys how the list has changed over into the East. Let me go back. So here is OP09 Reiju. Watch this, guys. Okay, OP06 Reiju, and here we go. There have not been as many winning lists in OP09, but there's a lot of stuff going on right now over in the East. They're trying to figure out what the best deck is anyway, because everything got changed up so much with the introduction of Blackbeard, with Red Purple Law being banned, and things like that. So with Reiju, check this out, guys. The list is still completely the same, but they have gone up the Yanjis. Yanji has come back into the list. Very strong addition. This like was in the list, then it was not in the list, and now it's back in it. It does come down to player preference, and it comes down to what you're expecting to see in the meta. That's like a big part of it. But other than that, guys, notice the list is identical. So going into OP09, this is why I recommend this list to new players. Yes, it is a hard deck to play. So if it's like your first ever TCG, there might be a few other easier options out there like Blue Doflamingo, but that's going to be a little more expensive. Green Uda is also, it's a little more expensive than Reiju is, but it's also a pretty good entry-level deck, I feel like. But if you're willing to take the time and really learn this game and get really good at it as quickly as you can, this is the deck. This is the one. It has answers, and we'll look at that in today's videos, or today's games on the sim. But yeah, that's about it, guys. Like I said, the list does not change much, even going into OP09. We'll have to see what happens in the future, if it gets any extra support in the future to deal with, you know, power creep, if that ever comes into play. And, you know, it's bound to, as that's just how, that's how TCGs go, right? There has to always be a little bit of power creep, or you'll never upgrade your decks or something like that, right? That's kind of the logic behind it. That was clumsy. Just bear with me. I don't want to go down that path in today's video. Okay, now let's go ahead and hop over. Oh, before we go into the games on the sim, I had one more thing I want to show you guys. Like, so how cheap is this deck exactly? $45 cheap. $45 USD cheap. That is how cheap we're talking. When I say this deck is probably cheaper than most Pokemon decks, I'm not kidding, guys. So this is the version we saw from the East. This is just the East version right here that we saw that got top 30, or it got first place at a 32-player flagship in OP09. And guys, I mean, it looks, they're all about the same, right? This is basically the blueprint. This is basically the foundation. Really good stuff here. This, guys, this is it. This is the Reiju list. And it is $45 for the base rarity of the cards. So not these expensive cards over here. Notice this, guys. I have this card up for a specific reason. This alternate art Reiju card here, which, you know, you can just run this one, right? All you have to do is run the normal Reiju leader. Well, if you want the alt art Reiju, it costs $55 USD right now. It costs more than the entire deck does, just for the alt-art, at least on the U.S. market. It looks like card market's a little bit cheaper, but still, hopefully you guys get the point. Okay, now let's go ahead and hop into some games on the sim. And if you guys have any questions about that, any new players have any questions, please say something in the comment section below. Okay, so now, here we go. I believe the version that I am running might be a copy-paste version from the one we just saw from OP09. Okay, guys? Now, I'm playing on OP08 on the sim, but it's using the same version as they're running in OP09 because there's no new cards from OP09, just to give everybody a heads up there. All right, let me adjust the camera. Got the volume off. The speed is on 2x, and we're good to go, guys. Let's go ahead and dive into this. So first game up is a game versus Kalgara. Very nice. I got a stage in the opening hand. I've got portion hand. I've got chopper. I've got a lot of things here. I'm going to trash a card from hand. So typically speaking, I try, like, early on, the Niji card, the 3-cost blue guy, or I guess he's like blue or purple, whatever you want to call him, the guy that's in my trash right now, that is just I just pitch that card as quickly as I can to just try to find better things, like with my stage, unless I have the 7-cost guy in my hand. Let me explain him real quick before we go any further. That is the perfect target to trash with your stage, because the way that these 2-cost, 3-cost, and 4-cost miniature characters work is they can pull a card from your trash or from your hand. But here's the thing. Your stage causes you to trash a card. So you want to trash the big versions and then cheat them out with the little versions from your trash. I know that was a little bit clumsy. The more seasoned players understand what I'm saying. But if you have any questions, again, please do not be afraid to ask in the comment section below. I'll say it as, as clearly as I can in like a text format. Okay, so here we go. So I did get a 7-cost Akiji. I'm going to use that card next turn almost for sure, unless I just don't see the 4-cost guy to cheat him out. Okay, so they're going to start off. Kalgara is going to start off with an upper yard. And let's see what they do here. They do a top 5 search. They got a wiper 2k counter. And they're going to have to pass the turn back unless they have a 1-Dawn play. Okay, my turn. We're going to swing for 5. It's always good to just poke 5 with your leader. Just, hey, it's just free value. And that is the name of the game, okay? That is the name of the game with Reiju, is value. Your leader draws a card. Let me pause real quick. So I trashed the 7-cost guy, and now I'm going to do a top search. I'm like, oh, okay, that's unfortunate. My Black Maria is going to go to the bottom because I can't search up. You can only, with the stage, it's a top 3 search for the Germa 66 stuff only. So I only have one target, and it's the Vinsmoke Niji. Okay, so I don't know what I'm taking a while for. I can only get that one card. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The name of the game for Reiju, hang on, guys. I got to pause before this play even happens and finish my thought. The name of the game with Reiju is to draw cards. Always try to draw an extra card every single turn with your leader's effect. Okay, and counter out aggressively to keep your hand size low, because the 4-cost Reiju draws based on if you have 5 or less cards in hand. This is a lot of information to take in. Don't worry if you're a newer player. Like I said, I will link my other Reiju videos in the comment section below, and that way you'll be able to go to that and actually learn from the ground up if you need to. Okay, so Porsche does a top 5 search, and she can only search up Foxy Pirate's cards. That's just a bonus. And it does let you set your bottom 5 cards, or bottom 4 to 5 cards. It depends on what happens. And that's not the worst thing in the world, guys, because I think this leader can actually go through the deck. Like, it actually does that much searching throughout the game if it's a longer game. So I did actually get a Tony Chopper from the search, but what I want to do now is cheat out a character that costs that has 4,000 power or less. That's purple. And I think in this situation, I'm stuck with only using the choppers because I don't have a 4-cost Reiju in my trash, or that 4-cost guy right there that I needed for this effect. But that's okay. Okay, now we have him for next time, right? So here we go. The Kalgara is going to play out the 2-cost Shura here. They're going to do a top 5 search, looking for Sky Island type cards. And let's see what they do now. They're probably going to swing for 6, maybe leave a Dawn active. Yeah, that makes... Okay, they're going to swing for 7 to get very aggressive here. Are they going to cheat out a character? The answer is yes. I think that was very dangerous, okay? Because Reiju, for those who are wondering, like, what kind of deck is Reiju? Let me say that real quick. What kind of deck is Reiju? Is it control? Is it aggro? Is it mid-range? Is it what? It is very much combo. It can kind of change as needed. It can play very controlling, like just throwing down blockers and attacking into the board, or it can go very much aggro, where it's like, okay, I'm just going to play out 7-cost characters for 3, just non-stop while filling out the board. And what do I mean by 3? Doesn't it cost 4 to play out the other guy to summon the 7-cost guy? Yes and no. Remember, the Porsche is a 5,000 power body for 3. You can play the Porsche and cheat out the 4-cost guy, which cheats out the 7-cost guy. So watch, that's what's about to happen on this turn. Just give everybody a heads up. So if I were to classify Reiju, this is very much a jack of all trades kind of deck. It doesn't really go too tall. It does have Judge, but it doesn't go too tall. But man, it just controls the board and goes super high value, like a control deck. Okay, we're going to swing for 5 into the leader. In fact, you guys tell me what y'all think in the comments section below. Do y'all think this is more of a control style deck, mid-range, or aggro? It's hard to classify it, in my opinion. So I trashed the Chopper to do a top 3 search. I get a Reiju finally. I needed that. So we're going to Dawn. Okay, very nice. So I didn't get anything from the Porsche search, but I can cheat out the 4-cost Ikiji. And this is going to be perfect. Watch this, guys. I'm going to... Okay, so much is going on. So much is going on. I cheat out the Vinsmoke Ikiji, right? Then I have 2 Dawn left, and I have 6 cards in my hand. So I cheat out, then I just play out the 2-cost Reiju, which is now in my trash. From there, I'm going to use that effect to Dawn -1 and cheat out the 4-cost Reiju and draw 2 cards with that effect. I also drew a card earlier from playing out the Porsche, and it's been one of those turns where basically for 5 Dawn, I will have played a 5k, a 7k, and a 5k, and drawn 3 cards, and I'm going to attack like 3 times. It's one of those turns, and I still have my blocker from last turn. Okay, so right here, use the Ikiji, cheat this guy out, and in some world, this is considered fair, right, guys? No, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to complain. Y'all know what I mean. But no, this looks very bad for my opponent already. I have a full board and a blocker to protect what I need to with 6 cards in hand. 3 of them are 2k counters. And some people might be thinking, yeah, but you're down to 2 Dawn. Well, we'll see about that, right? We'll see about that. But no, I am down to 2 Dawn, but next turn I'll go to 4. If I play out the Black Maria, I'll be straight up to 6. My opponent's only on 6 Dawn this turn, to be fair. Like, it's not like this has been a crazy game, like with Dawn or anything. So they've got a lot to do here. They've got a lot of decisions to make. They're going to attach 2 to the Wiper, and they're going to swing 7 into probably something on my board. I don't know what they're supposed to do here. I always think they should double down and just go face. I think that's their best call. They're going to go for my body. Just let it go. They can have it because I need more space for my next body, right? That's pretty much what's going on here. Okay, they have 4 Dawn left for the turn. Let's see if they want to lose a life this turn. Let's see if they want to lose a life this turn with the leader effect cheating out another body. Okay, they do. Okay, hey, they're kind of challenging me to attack into their life here, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to go into the bodies on the board first. Because Reiju is a high value deck, guys. I'm not in any rush right now. I'm not in a rush to get any, how do I say this? So I trashed the extra stage here to do a top 3 search. I'm not in any rush to win this game because I have a blocker, I have 3 life, and I've got plenty of 2k counters in my hand. I'm doing just fine. Okay, so right here, we are going to swing 5. We're going to poke for 5 into the Wiper. Let's see what they choose to do. They're probably just going to counter out. No, they let it go. Now that I remember how this game, now I'm starting to remember this game. They let it go, which I think was probably the right decision. But I would have countered out every single time until they get rid of that card. Because the more attacks that are going into my board, the better, right? So I'm going to swing for 5, swing for 6, swing for 7. This will probably get their last life card, or maybe they'll give me a 2k, 1k. Let's see. They take it. And now we're going to play out a Black Maria. We're going to ramp all of our Dawn back. Now watch this. Notice I didn't use my leader effect this turn. Black Maria's effect happens at the end of your turn. So at the end of my turn, I had to return Dawn cards back until I had the same as my opponent. So I ended up drawing a card from the leader's effect at the end of my turn, playing out the Black Maria and catching up in Dawn. That is why that card is outrageously good, right, in this deck. That's my favorite expression, outrageously good. And here we go. I'm back to a full board. I don't know what they're supposed to do here. I've got 2 2k counters. Or excuse me, actually I have only 1 2k counter because I played one out for the turn with the Black Maria. But I have a 2k counter. I have a blocker. I've got 3 life. They only have 1 body. They have 2 bodies they can attack with this turn because they can only attack with the Kalgara and their leader. The Shuros are just too small. Okay, they're playing Rocky or Raki. And that's a 1-cost 1,000 power blocker if you have other Shandorian warriors down other than her. 1 cost 1,000 power, 1k counter blocker. Not bad. So they're going to swing in for 7 at my Porsche. Okay. So right here, I think I should just use the blocker, right? Yeah, just use the blocker. Makes sense. You can have that. And now where are you going to go? Are they going to try to swing 8 into 7? Okay, 8 into 5. I think I should let it go. But part of me thinks, like, okay, if I counter out, you know, I can just go for lethal. But I think I can just go for lethal anyway, right? I think I can just... Okay. Okay. I'm just going to be quiet for this next part, and you guys can kind of see how Judge works. I think this is the game where I play him. So I trash out the Yanji there. I'm trying to fix my cards. I get another Akiji. So here we go. I think it's going to... I'm trying to do a little bit of math real quick to make sure I don't blunder this, right? And this was pretty late last night. I recorded these games last night pretty late. I think around like basically this morning, I guess technically, because it was like 1 in the morning or something. So swing for 6. Swing for 6. Okay, right here, it would be normal to just swing for 13, but instead we're going to swing for 7. They give me all those cards. So once I saw that, I don't do the Judge play like I was going to, and then I was going to swing for 9. Since I saw all the 1Ks, it was like, okay, I'll just swing for 9 and just end the game. But if that had not been, like, how do I say this? Actually, that might have been all I was going for anyway, because I used my Dawn there and Dawn there. So yeah. It's another game coming up. I kind of did a spoiler there. There is a game where I have one crazy Vinsmoke Judge game. Okay, so that was that one. Let's go to the next one here. We got a game versus Red-Green Chopper. Volume is off. Speed 2x. I think the game is playing. We're just waiting to see what everybody chooses. Guys, if you get the stage... Well, this thing go. There we go. If you get the stage opener, it is just so nice because you're searching through 4 cards a turn, right? You're drawing a card for the turn, and you're doing a top 3 search. Then we get that card. Okay, Porsche is pretty nice, guys. So first I use the Vinsmoke Akiji. I use the, I use the stage to throw away the Yanji, and I grab Akiji. Now I'm going to play out the Porsche. I'm going to go down a Dawn, and I'm going to cheat out something from my hand. Okay, so playing that out, using a top search, okay. Taking note of what's in there, you need to take a mental image of like, you know, like, okay, so now I know those cards are going to the bottom, and then I go ahead and play out the Chopper here. I'll draw a card, regain the Dawn back, and now I'm doing just fine. That Chopper's very nice, guys, the way it can help fix your Dawn a little bit, and it's a blocker. It's a searchable blocker with your Porsche. So we do take one of these hits here. Now let's see what they do. They play out a Chopper, and they've got a full board, so this looks kind of bad for me, right? So they're going to swing for 6. I think I should counter out of this personally. Yep, 2K counter. I don't think we're going to need the Black Widow this game, or the Black Widow, I always say Black Maria, the Black Widow. Nope. All right, so trashing the Vinsmoke Akiji. So here's what's so important. I mentioned this earlier, right? Why is it important to be able to trash the Akiji with the stage? Well, all of your other Vinsmoke characters, other than Judge, have counters on them. So I can easily counter out with them to get them into my trash, and then I can cheat them back into play with the small versions. Well, Akiji doesn't have a counter. Yes, you can still play him from your hand if you need to, but that's not what we're going for, right? We want to be able to play him from the trash and get full value. Well, we can trash him with the stage to do a top 3 search and then cheat him into play. Just insane ultra value. Reiju is the ultra value deck, even like financially, like in the real world, right? I mean, like we're actually, it's such a cheap deck compared to everything else. We'll swing 6 into 4 here. He lets everything go, which is probably smart. He has 3 cards in hand. I'm going to get a Gina 2K counter with that Porsche search, cheating out the 4-cost guy, swinging for 7 at face. And now, all of a sudden, they had 5 cards. We had 2. Now they're down to 3, and we're up to 4. We still have 6 cards in our hand. They only have 4. They play out the Wapol, but remember, Wapol doesn't have Rush unless you're playing it in the new PRB01 Sanji, the red Sanji deck. 5 into 5. I am going to counter out of that, and then I think I'm going to let it go on the next one. Maybe no, counter out here, because then I can start drawing cards when I get the Reiju. So we're going to swing for 5 into 6 here. They actually counter out, and it's like, okay, this is getting kind of annoying. I need to make sure the remaining 3 cards go. Swing, 5 into there. I did that backwards. I don't think it mattered, though. Well, no, they were both 2K. It didn't matter. It was going to be 5 and 7. So their board's gone. In this situation here, I'm going to use the Reiju. I'm going to cheat it out to draw 2 cards because I had 5 less cards in my hand and less Dawn than my opponent. That's the other stipulation. I'm looking for what's in my trash in case I do have to play out a Judge this turn. So I think I go for another Reiju here. Okay, and then we're going to... I think I play out 1 more card here because Red-Green Chopper doesn't run removal, right? Typically speaking, I mean, it might... Who knows if it runs like a random jet pistol? Okay, and they're running Electrical Luna in this version, so you never know, right? Maybe they are running something like a jet pistol randomly in here. They swing 9 into 5, but here's the thing. Here's the thing that feels unfair about Reiju is like, okay, you took out my character, right? You should have just gone for face because I'm just going to bring the card back now. I'm going to bring the card back every single turn. Like every single turn, I'm going to bring it back. Swing for 5. He takes it. So I think I'm going to swing for 6 here. Now, one thing I will say... No, okay, hang on. This isn't the same turn I'm thinking of. But I was going to say, I think I should have maybe tried to go for that Wapol there. I don't know. It's hard to say. So we're going to do a lot of stuff here. I'm just drawing cards like crazy, just abusing every mechanic you can imagine in the game with this Reiju deck. Dawn -1 here, cheating characters out. -2,000 power to the Wapol, swing 7 into it. He couldn't save it. He has no counter power in hand. He hits me with another Electrical Luna, locking down my characters. But it's just, it almost just doesn't matter, right? It almost just doesn't matter. He's going to swing for 8. Blocking here with the chopper makes the most sense because I need to clear up board space anyway. Swinging for 8 here, I think I need to counter out so that way I can reuse my Reiju next turn. I use the Yanji here to over-counter so that way I can get him back from the trash. It is what it is, right? I don't know why I did that, to be honest. I was preparing just in case I needed to use Reiju, but then I get Judge here, so we'll have to see how this goes. I think, but I think this game is actually very close to over at this point, right? Because, okay, they have 1 card left in hand, so if I swing 6... Okay, that was risky, but they didn't have a 2K counter last turn, so maybe that wasn't as risky. And they did do a Dr. Correja search, so maybe I don't remember. Okay, and then they just tap out. So this is how this... Notice how this game is going. Like, my board is completely full, and I'm about to draw more cards. I'm drawing, like, on average, probably three cards... Well, I'm drawing 3 cards a turn every time I do a Reiju, like the 4-cost character. But I'm sifting through 4 cards a turn. Trashing cards in the process, which is building up for my late game with Judge. And before, Judge was not even that great because it was so hard to get back to 8 Dawn effectively without throwing the game. Well, now that we have Black Maria, we get to 8 Dawn instantly, just whenever we need to. Like, I mean, I shouldn't say instantly, but pretty much whenever we need to, as long as our opponent is up to 10 Dawn like this. It changes so much, guys. Okay, we got 2 more games of Reiju. These are a lot of fun. Okay, now this one feels bad because, of course, it's against Red Yellow Sabo. And for those who might be wondering, how is Red Yellow Sabo's matchup into Reiju? It is at best 50-50. The only way... pause. Okay, this is a perfect setup. So hear me out real quick. For any of the Red Yellow Sabo players out there who are listening, this matchup is at best 50-50, but it might even be favored slightly more for Reiju. Like maybe, I feel like it might be 40-60. Like 60% win chance for Reiju, 40% for Sabo. However, if you want to take that win percentage up, there is at least a very easy answer for that, and it is Braum. The 3-cost, 4,000 power, 1K counter, Sky Island, Shandoran Warrior character, because he has an activate main to destroy a stage. And when he destroys the stage, he also gets to rest down a character. And I will probably talk about that more in another video, like a dedicated Red Yellow Sabo video. But that is your best chance. If there's a lot of really good Reijus at your locals, just tech in Braum, and that will go a long way. Now, if you don't see it, you don't see it. It is what it is. But with all the card draw and cycling we're doing with Sabo these days, like with Bonnie and Nami and all that, I don't think it'll be that hard to pull off. Now, anyway, back to the game. Back to the game. Because the thing that makes... One more thing. The thing that makes Reiju so strong and so consistent and so powerful is the stage. So if you can actually remove that stage, now you're in good shape. It becomes an even matchup, and then you can actually, like, at least try to outplay your opponent or at least outlast them. Okay, now back to the game. So they're going to swing for 5 at me here. I have the perfect start with the stage. I went second stage, trashed the Akiji, and I have the perfect start. I have a Reiju in my trash. I'm going to trash the Reiju, and then I'm going to play out the Reiju, and I'm about to draw 3 cards and establish a 5K body. Okay, yep. Do that, and it looks like right here I might end up swinging for 6. Yeah, swing for 6. They'll probably 2K counter out. Yeah, it's very normal for Red Yellow Sabo to do that nowadays. I'm going to do a top 3 search by trashing the Niji. I get a 2K counter. My hand's pretty set now. I've got 6K in counter. I really have 8K in counter, but I have, you know, a lot of options now. So they're going to swing for 7. Honestly, it would have been smart for me to counter out of that. Oh, he still had the other attack. Sorry. That would not have been smart. So I'm just going to do that. I plan on trashing 2K counters this turn to get out of an attack, and that's the way we did it. So perfect. Okay, trashing Akiji to find another one, to find the 4-cost version right here. So swing for 5. I think I'm going to swing 5, swing 6, swing 7. Yep, because we're going to play out the 4-cost Akiji, and we are going to play out the Akiji from the trash. So here we go. Swinging for 6 here. Let's see what they do. I would probably counter out if I could. They might not have any counter power. So use this, Dawn -1. That lets us draw a card with our leader. Now we're swinging in for 7. And my board is... Whoa. So that was a very, very hyper... I think they might have double-clicked the Kumas in their hand on accident. Unless they're trying to set up a later Nami to cycle a card. So 6 into 4, no problem. You can have it. Because I have another one in my hand. And I have the other one in my hand because this stage is ridiculous. This stage is letting me go through so much. So here we go. We're going to trash. I think I just trashed the other stage right here. Sometimes it's good to double up on stages when you're looking for something in particular. But right here, I'm not. I'm not looking for anything in particular. Yeah, trash the other stage, do a top search, get a 2K counter. Our hand is completely insane right now, right? Like, I mean, after everything we've been doing, our hand is insane. They get a Neko Mamushi here. Seems good, but we are going to bounce that back to hand with Niji. Okay, pushing that back. They can have the Koala. We're not worried about the Koala as much as we are the Neko Mamushi. And that all that did was push us back another turn where we get one extra turn to start attacking into our opponent. Okay, so they're going to swing for 6. And what are they going for here? They have 4 Dawn left. Okay, so pause. To the Red Yellow Sabo player, if you're listening, number 1, good game. We did have a good game. But let me say this. I personally would have rather you just attach 2 to the Neko Mamushi in this situation and thrown it into your life and then swung for 7 with Koala, right? Because you get plus 2,000 with the Koala and the remaining 2 Dawn and Koala. So you could have done a swing 6, swing 7. Now Neko Mamushi's coming into play for free, and you still have the 1K counter in hand. Because you see that I'm running the Niji here, I'm just going to push that Sanji out of the way, if I even need to. I doubt I'll even have to. I think you're just going to give me this card as a counter this turn. But, okay, here we go. All right, so right here, guess what? I'm going to poke him for 5 4 times. It's going to be swing 5, swing 5, swing 5, swing 6. And that's with using nothing from my hand. Okay, then I see how he does this. I'm like, well, wait a minute. So let's go ahead and swing 6 here. Or just, yeah, maybe, hang on. I'm trying to decide how. I want to win on this turn. Like, that's what's going through my mind. I'll swing for 5. Let's see if he takes it. Okay, well, now I'm going to swing for 7 and swing for 8. GG. That's pretty much good game. And that's what this leader does. Like, pause. It has this leader. If you're someone who is very good at reading the board state, you're a high-skilled player and you know matchups, you have game knowledge, this is a leader that can absolutely take you there, guys. Like, it allows you to capitalize on these special situations where it's like, wait a minute. So because of this, and because of this, you're just done for, right? And if he was not done for right there, I'm still completely fine. And it would have cost him every card from his hand. Like, if he had exactly 2 2K counters left in hand to get out of that 8K attack, okay, your turn, and you have nothing left. Even if you attack with all your cards this turn and buff everything as much as you can, look at my hand. I've got a 2K, and then 4 1Ks. And I have 3 life still, right? I still have the 3 life. So it just becomes a nightmare situation. This deck is extremely powerful, guys. Okay, and then last but not least, we got one more game. This one's versus Zooro. We had a game versus Red-Green Chopper and a game versus Zooro. We'll see which one's better, right? But no, I think the Zooro deck is better. Oh, one thing I do want to say, I got to give a shout out to Los Fiends. Los Fiends is one of those guys I've been watching for a long time. I got to meet him down in Orlando for the Kissimmee Regional last year, I think it was, or the beginning of this year. It's been a long time now. It was towards the middle or beginning of this year we're in 2024, and I got to meet him. Really cool guy, Dante. I saw him running a red-green Luffy version of the animal package, like that you'd normally see in Zooro, but with a few green cards added in. He's got a video on that. I'll have to link that in the comment section below. And man, that deck is nasty. I might be checking that out in the near future because I do like the idea of the Zooro package. I do think it's a really cool package. But man, the red-green version where you can stand stuff up and attack again and add supernovas to it because it's red-green Luffy, which is a supernova type. Very interesting. So again, I gotta give a big shout out to Los Fiends in here. He's awesome. Definitely check out his channel if you haven't already. Okay, so he's going to swing, the Zoro's going to swing for 5 and play out the Chopper, and they have nothing to cheat out. So that's a feels bad for sure. Okay, so now we're going to use the, okay, so that might be the strongest turn to play in the game, where you just go, okay, play out a 2-cost Reiju from your hand, and then draw 3 cards while establishing a 5K body, and I still have 2 Dawn left to work with because we went second. Seems good, guys. Seems good. I guess we'll just bash in for 7 here. Why not, right? So they're down to 4. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13K in counter this early. And I need to counter out pretty aggressively here to get my hand size lower so I can use more Reijus in the near future, right? Swing for 6. Oh, perfect. Yeah, I've got infinite 2K counters for you. Please help me get these out of my hand. Now, I do not have a stage this game. This game, I don't see the stage early on. It's not required, but it definitely helps out the Reiju big time to have the stage early on. So I hit him with a pudding. So hear me out real quick. He only had 6 cards in his hand. Notice this, guys. He only has 6 cards in hand. Pudding is not exactly an incredible play here. It's not. It's really not a great play. But I don't really have a much better one. The other option is to play out my Yanji. But at the same time, you know, again, that doesn't really help me that much. It is a blocker. I guess it was definitely the second best option in my opinion. But right here, I just want to go swing 5, swing 6, and then play out the pudding. Okay, let's see what happens. But I have to play out the pudding first, or else they'll start countering out of their hand. Okay, so let's see what they do here. So we're gonna play out the pudding. Is it playing? Sometimes it gets stuck. There we go. So I'm gonna play out the pudding here. They have to lose the cards in their hand. I'm gonna swing 5 into 4, and then I'm gonna swing 6 into 4 if he counters out. No problem. I just need him to only have 2 attacks this turn. That's the main thing. He does 2K, 1K. Okay, hey, you got it, man. I've still got 6K in counter, 7K if you count the Yanji, and I've got 4 life. So I'm really not too scared right now, if that makes sense. Okay. They're going to swing for 6. I think we give a 2K counter here. That was kind of... It was risky giving the Black Maria, but I haven't been able to go back down and Dawn very much because I don't have any ways to reduce Dawn right now. It's hurting me pretty bad right now, not having any way to go backwards and Dawn. And then finally we get this card, but I don't even have the other counterpart for it. I'm tempted to just play the card out just to go Dawn -1 and do something from you know, do something like that. But okay, so we're going to go 6 into here. I don't really have a lot of great plays lined up, so we're just going to keep, you know, bashing in. Swing 6 into 4. He only has 1 card in hand. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, he was doing a top 5 search, and he got the Chopper. Seems good. That does seem pretty good, getting the Chopper in that situation. Okay, so right here, I'm going to play out the blocker, and their turn. I'm sitting on 2 Dawn. We'll talk about that at the end, guys. We'll talk about what you could do with 2 Dawn left. There's a guy from my locals. I got to give a shout out to him later. He's and I'll link his. I'll say that for the end. Hang on. A big shout out to Tino. I'm pretty sure his name's Tino. Sorry if I butchered that. That's one of my local players. He won last night with Reiju at my locals at like almost a 30-player locals. So 8,000 into 4, you can have that thing, right? It's all yours. They're gonna swing 8 into 5. Seems good. Okay, we finally got Ikiji. Okay, now we can do something here. Very nice. We'll swing 5 into 3. They literally can't save any of these cards. I'm gonna get every single card out of his hand here. So right here, I'm like, you know what? Let me swing 5 first, or I'll swing 6 first to try to get the last card out of his hand. Let's see what it is. Oh, it's a 2K counter. Yay! All right, that was literally planned. That was on purpose. So he has no cards in hand. His board is clear. I'm gonna play out the guys, do y'all see this? Look how crazy this is. I just played out the Ikiji for 4 to or hang on, that was earlier in the turn, but I played him out for 4 to KO the Chopper, right? Then I play out the Reiju for 2 to draw 2 cards. I had 2 Dawn left, which drew me into the Yanji, which I'm going to play out to get another blocker on the board. Because guess what? This game is still not over. If my opponent top decks a Diable Jambe at any time, all he has to do is get me down to 0 life, and I'm done. Like, if he gets me down to 0, I'm done for. So he's going to swing 12 into 7 here. I'm like, okay, you can have it. We're not too worried about that. He gets a Chopper. Okay, he gets a Chopper. Watch this turn, guys. This was the turn I was talking about earlier. Swing 5. Swing 5. I have exactly 8 Dawn. Guess what I'm going to do this turn? Swing 5. We're going to swing 6 one time, too. We're going to swing with 1 Yanji. It seems dangerous, but just trust me. It's fine. We're going to swing for 6. Okay, now we're going to play out the Judge. And we have to return a Dawn and trash 2 cards from hand. And then we can play out the little guys here. Replacing that, replacing that, replacing that. And then we're going to draw a card from our leader effect. Draw 2 cards from Reiju. Establish another blocker. Establish the 7K. And your turn. I don't even attack there because I don't want to give him 1 extra card. I have 2 blockers. I have 2, 4, 6K in counter in hand and 1 life. I'm feeling pretty safe right now. And I have the 2 blockers, right? I do have the 2 blockers. Okay, guys, that's the deck, like, at full power right there, to be honest with you. The way you can just go Judge and refill your whole board like that, it is outrageously strong. Well, I'm going to use the blocker and not counter out. I'm saving every single bit of counter power in my hand in case he tries to get me down to 0 and hit me with the Diable Jambe. I cannot risk a Diable Jambe. There it is. He had it, and he had the Diable Jambe, guys. That's why I had to play it like that. So he's going to swing for 7. Well, I'll take that, and I don't have to worry about it now, because the most he can attach to a character is 2. Okay, I'll block for 6 for free. That was just, you know, that was just desperation. He just played the Nami. He can't swing with Nami. Okay, My turn. We're going to swing for 6, and we're going to swing for 9. GG. So that was an awesome game. Guys, there are times where Judge just goes crazy. Let's watch that Judge turn one more time. So watch this. So here's the beginning of this turn. This is the beginning of the turn, right? Hang on, it's right here, right? Oh, it's the next turn. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to hit play. So this is what it looked like. They passed the turn. So this is my Judge turn. 8 Dawn, right? Watch this. Swing 5. Okay, swing 5. Swing 5. Swing 6, and we could have swung for 6 more if we absolutely had to go for lethal, but I want to keep my blockers up for next round just to make sure I don't lose. Swing 6, and now watch this, guys. Here's the fireworks. We're going to go from 8 Dawn down to 4 Dawn, but every bit of it is going to be worth it. We trash the 2 cards. We bring out 4 bodies altogether, right? The Judge, the Yanji, the Reiju, and the Ikiji. Then we're going to use the Reiju to draw 2 cards. We drew one from the leader, play out a blocker, and then have a rusher that can swing it for 7. So, guys, for 8 Dawn, we just got an 8K, a 5K, a 6K, and a 7K. We drew 3 cards. We got the 7K could rush that turn and attack in. The 6K is a blocker. The value's out of this world, guys. It is just so strong. Okay, that's it. I'm done rambling about it. I don't have enough good things to say about this leader. So let's go ahead and hop over to the deck here that I'm using. I took the leader off. That's why the leader's gone. So this is the leader, guys. Pause and read this if you missed me talking about it earlier. I'm going to remove it, though, so everything fits on one line. I believe this is the exact list from the East for OP09. They might not run the puddings. I think they might run the Kayas instead of the pudding. It's something like that. But it's a very close list, guys. Most lists are like totally identical, right? They're pretty much totally identical. But here's the thing. This deck here is it's a very high skill level deck. So if you come from other TCGs and you're a good player from other TCGs, you're going to be able to hop over to here, and this deck is going to teach you how to play the game very quickly, and it is so affordable. Like we were saying, it's under $50 for the entire list, which is just crazy, right? Now, one thing I have to talk about real quick. Like I said, I was giving a shout out to my guy Tino from Locals. He ran a Reiju list last night, got first place. Did an awesome job. I will link, he has his own channel. I will link that down in the comment section below for those who are interested, because I'm not sure if he's going to post the game. He did record the game from last night, but he's probably not done editing it, because he likes to edit his videos and do stuff like that and talk over them and whatnot. So, but that'll be up as soon as it comes up. It was a game versus Nami in the finals. Now, this card, okay, Porsche, remember, this can search up a Foxy Pirate card. Okay, well, what does that look like? First, let me let the purple cards load in real quick. What are some other options we might have for Porsche? And my buddy, he actually techs in a card that is really spicy from Foxy. I'll give you a hint, guys. It's an event. Noro Beam Sword. Check this out, guys. Counter, Dawn -1. Give up to one character or leader plus 2,000 power for this battle. That's whatever. Like 2 costs for a 2K counter is just like, okay, it's better than nothing, right? It's still a 2K counter, and you had to leave 2 Dawn active. But check this out, guys. Then rest up to one of your opponent's characters. There's no cost restriction on the resting part. And the trigger, add up to 1 Dawn card and set it as active. The active part doesn't matter as much, but I guess technically it could if you had one of these in hand and you only had 1 Dawn active. That could help. But the main thing is this. Resting down a character. Guys, how often do people attack in with their characters, like their little small characters? And then what happens? They save their big attacks for later. Okay, so let's just say they swing in for 6 or 7. 7 is a pretty normal attack, especially late game. And if you have 2 Dawn active for this, okay, they swing in for 7, right? Okay, Noro Beam Sword, rest down your biggest attacker. It cannot rest the leader, but it can rest any character. So rest your biggest attacker other than your leader, and then we're going to be able to, from there, counter out with 1, right? Because it only does a 2K counter. And then it does cost Dawn -1, but guys, this is Reiju, and yes, of course, we are running Black Maria. So it's kind of all there. Now, this is not the list. Like I said, this is not the list from my buddy from Locals. This is just a standard Reiju list. This is like a very basic one. No special tech cards or anything like that. The only technical tech cards that I'm using, y'all know what I'm trying to say, is Pudding. Okay? Pudding is I feel like this card can just straight up win you games. I'm sure you could make that argument for any card in any specific situation, sure. But this card, guys, it's one of those, as soon as I saw this card, I have tried to put it into every single deck that I play that has blue. That has blue as a color option. Because it is just so strong. Pause and read it if you don't know what it does. But other than that, guys, very straightforward. I will read through the list and mouse over it so you can read each one of these cards individually if you don't know what they do. So I'm running 2 puddings, 4 of the 4 cost Akiji, 4 of the 7 cost, 2 of the 8 cost Judge. I don't know why I said 8 cost. That's the only Judge in the deck, guys. 4 Sora, 2 Akiji, excuse me, 2 of the 3 cost Niji, 2 of the 5 cost Niji, 2 of the 2 cost Yanji, 2 of the 4 cost Yanji. Look, I'll just say it like this: 4 of both Reijus, right? That'd probably been way easier to say. Then 2 Ginas, 4 Tony Chopper, 4 Porsche, 4 Black Maria, and 4 of the stage. No, some are running. Let me type in Germa. Yeah. Some versions are running this event. In fact, quite a few were. In fact, I think even the one we looked at today was running this event. I think I took the 2 out. There were 2 out, I believe, in the version we looked at today. I'm sorry, guys. We do have to look at it real quick. Yeah, here it is. So I took out the 2 stages, or not stages, the 2 event searchers, this card right here. I took them out for 2 of the 4 cost puddings. That's what I did with my list personally. And then I don't run the 2 Kayas. I run the 2 Ginas. Well, actually, they're running 2 Ginas as well. Let me see what the big difference is here. Oh, they're not running Tony Chopper. Okay, so they're not running the Tony Chopper. I guess that's the only major difference. And I guess that does make sense as you play against more and more decks that are running black. It's just very easy to clear them or something, I guess. I don't know. You guys tell me what y'all think in the comment section below. But yeah, that's it, guys. Let me get back to my list. This is the list that I was running in today's video for the 4 games we played. Or the 4, that's 5. So for the 4 games we played. And yeah, I'm just going to end it there. This video already is an hour long. I had no idea. That's just how fast time's gone by. Again, one last thing. I will actually bring up the page we were just at. This list, guys. Again, look at this. Let me bring up the just so it looks prettier over there on the other side. This list is so good, guys. This leader is so strong. It can do so much. It does have, how do I say this? I'm trying to think. Hang on one second, guys. Like when it comes to like the matchups, I'll have to link something down in the comment section below. Eggman has a let me bring it up over here, guys. I will at least bring up the matchups real quick for those who are interested. He has something. Here we go. He has something on here for the ranked matchups for the sim, for people who do the bounties and stuff like that, I think they're called. I don't mess with the ranked version. And let me see if we can zoom in. Again, I will have this linked as well in the comment section below for those who are interested. I'll move my head to the other side for this. Actually, okay, I'm just going to have to move my head right here for now. But check this out, guys. We're a little bit so you can see that's Lucci. For Reiju, and this changes. This is so confusing. Watch this, guys, for Reiju. Like, look at this. For this week, it looks like it's like it did absolutely terrible into Black Yellow Luffy, into Bonnie, and into Enel, and then into Kalgara. But watch this. This is just for October 10th. Now watch this. If we go down to October 3rd, it changes. I mean, still the roughest match looks like it's Black Yellow Luffy. But after Black Yellow Luffy, look at this. Zoro down to 40%, Bonnie down to 40%, Kalgara. No, this one does look about normal. But at the same time, look, for this matchup, Enel was up to 62%, whereas in this one, it was down to 14%. So it's kind of confusing. I don't quite understand how that works. Let me go down even a little bit further. Like, look at this September 26th list, guys. Reiju wasn't even on this one, but we can go at least from over here. It looks like it was getting beat by Lucci. It was getting beat by Black Yellow Luffy, by Zoro, by Bonnie, by Purple Luffy, by Katakuri. But it was doing decent into Purple Yellow Pudding, doing very well into Nami, and it was doing very well into SC14 Luffy. So kind of confusing. You'll have to check this stuff out for yourself if you want to know how the matchups are. But I'm just going to say this, like looking forward, like let me zoom out all the way out now. So this is the most recent update that they've had on here. And Reiju is, it peaked out at number 7 for its win percentage in the, okay, my head's completely in the way now. There we go. It peaked out right here at 7th place. And this was back on October 3rd. And guys, any deck that's in the top 10% area, even if this is just on the ranked sim, you know, that does say something, right? That's got to be, it's got to mean something. Anything that has a 50% or higher win rate across all the decks in the meta, and that's out of 920 games, they went 460 and 460. It's not bad, right? A very solid deck. And again, if you're a new player, it's the perfect, I still feel like this is like the perfect intro deck to get you into the game because of the price point, because it's going to be good for more than one set, and because it teaches you so much about all the different levels of interaction in the game. All right, now I'm done, guys. I've been going on and on and on. Let me zoom out real quick. and bring up the playmat page here. Big shout out to everybody who supports my channel, guys. If you are just liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing to help me out, guys, I really, really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. To all the VV Pirates playmat supporters, thank you guys so much as well for helping me out in the ways you do, buying the playmat. I really hope you guys are enjoying that. And then last but not least, the patron page here. Thank you guys so much to everybody who's just donating to the channel, just trying to make it work, trying to help me out. Really appreciate you guys too. All right, I'm done. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please don't forget to like, subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.